Hey everybody, just giving a quick update on the plants. It's the beginning of June, or I guess towards the beginning of June. And for the first time since I put them all in, everything is starting to look fairly promising, so that's good. Had a huge mite issue right at the beginning of the year, so I've been trying to squander that, and I found some cool tricks along the way that I'll talk about in this video right here. So as you can see, everything's bouncing back quite well. This one got nibbled up a bit. I think I have creatures in my garden I have to take care of, but like some of these are looking really good. So it's not all bad. Could be better, but everything's looking like it's gonna grow very healthily. So in this situation, I just let the natural lean of the plant that already existed do the work, and yeah, man, that seems to be quite effective. So, interesting tidbit of information there. This is the Buena Mulata. It's just now starting to get bigger. It was like stagnant for a solid 4 to 5 weeks. Actually, a lot of these are. And so, yeah, this video is probably going to be a little bit longer just so I show off like good results instead of the negative ones, because those aren't fun. So, speaking of those negative results, the mite problem. So I found an interesting trick to fixing that seems to be dramatically improving the situation. It's called neem seed, it's dust? Neem seed meal. That's what it is. Neem seed meal. This stuff, you put it around the base of your plants if you have mite problems. And wow, not only does it deter the mites extremely well, but it has also dramatically improved the growth all of a sudden of the plant. Now they've been in for a while, so they've probably been ready to bounce back, but that stuff certainly has kicked it off. And this is the bed that actually hasn't done well in previous years, so I think this bed is actually going to do quite well this year because these look great. Yeah, neem seed meal. It's like a dust. You spread it around the base of the plant. I just used like a handful of something for each plant. I don't know if you can really see it. I think there's where I got some on the, I might have sprinkled some on the garden fabric there. But yeah, it's a dust. It's brown, smells nutty. But I'll tell you what, I just did it like 2 or 3 days ago and things are starting to look better. So I don't know if they were already going to start looking better or what, but everything seems to be looking good. There's all the tomatoes. Not bad, not bad. I like that. Weather's fantastic today and should be for the next 4 or 5 days, so that's awesome. This is a random tomato plant that just started growing, and I didn't feel like stopping it. And also back here was the critter problems I was talking about. I think I have something living in the bed, so I'm gonna have to squander that problem. Like, see, you can see where, I don't know, like it broke. Some creature broke my yellow scorpion and a primo tali back here. I have others luckily, but yeah, I don't know. I'll have to do something about that. Probably fill in the hole, throw something back here like a poison or something. I have no idea. Haven't looked into it yet, but yeah, see, look at this thing. Whew, we'll talk about that one in a second. Everything that grows in that spot, like last year, something else grew in that spot and it did amazing. So I don't know if it's the spot in the bed that's good or what, but we'll talk about something else that's interesting here. So I've got this marigold in here that I use. I plant marigold sporadically throughout my garden to like make sure that I don't monoculture this whole thing too much. This specific marigold grew really tall and lanky and just kept falling over, and I didn't care, so I was just like, whatever, let it fall. I don't really give a shit. And so you can see now what's happening here is that the arms or the branches from the plant are actually growing upwards massively, as if they're all individual plants that are going to put out individual flowers. So again, this like leaning into the light trick Very fascinating. I don't see why this wouldn't produce larger yields of anything. I'll show you another example of that here. Is this purple basil that I got. When I planted it, it was tall and lanky. The bottom of it didn't look good, but the top had some solid growth, and it just kept falling over. And I had a stake here at first to prevent it from falling over, but it just kept falling over anyway. So I was like, you know what, to hell with it. I'm just gonna let it fall over. And now you can see that there's these giant branches that look exactly like regular plants growing up out of it. Yeah. So that's a cool trick. Just know that that's a thing. We'll just keep on rocking and rolling through this. I'm not gonna name off every plant that I have because I don't know what's gonna end up getting eaten up before I can get peppers off it, and which I don't. We'll talk about this one though on the left because it's a star. I mean, here's a Bane strain peach. Here we have an Aleppo. Here we have a Primo Tali that's just having a rough go at it. And then back here, I believe it's a Sugar Rush peach. I think I might have lost the tag. Yeah, but I'm fairly certain it's a Sugar Rush peach. It's either that or a Sugar Rush red. It's a Sugar Rush something, that's for sure. So, just keep rocking. Here's my Boutonade. Excited to see what this does. It had a rough go at first, but it's starting to bounce back nice. Here's a Peach Ghost. Yeah, some of these got hit hard by the mites. You can see the bounce back is like solid. I've been cutting off the leaves that look all gross from the mites. I've been cutting them off to allow new ones to grow sooner. And that seems to also be helping as well. Here's all the buckets. They're not looking great. I don't think I have them in a great location as far as sunlight. These trees up here end up blocking a lot of light later in the day. So I might have to like rearrange where I have these buckets at, but that's the nice thing about buckets is that you can move them. So that works out nice. And then this is a Poblano that also got broken by some creature or something. Came out here one day and the stem was just broken and I did not do it. So I don't know how it happened. We did have a storm that came through recently, so maybe the side plastic like blew into it too hard and broke it. I suppose that's possible as well, but I have no idea. Here's a lemon spice jalapeno. This thing looks like it's gonna be nice. I like the shape. Very symmetrical. Like a little bonsai tree or something. Yeah. Let's go look at the greenhouse. Alright, so here we are in the greenhouse. I just put the light up yesterday. Should have put it up sooner. Some of these are already starting to reach quite a bit. Like this Aleppo right here. Doing a little experiment between the outdoor and indoor Aleppo. But yeah, you can see here that this one is definitely starting to reach. So hopefully the light will solve that problem and we'll see just how much of an effect that light has on this plant that's reaching. See if we can halt that. If I can't, I might start chopping some of the stems. There's a yellow Siam back here. It's got a nice look to it. Very narrow leaves. Looking really healthy. Lots of flowers on it already. I was going to start pulling the flowers on this one, but it seems to be growing nicely, so I'm just going to let it go. See what happens. Here's a big one over here. This is another one of those Sugar Rushes. Holy cow, those things are strong. So that is a Sugar Rush Red. I actually already have a pod on there. Check that out. That's exciting. It's a big one too. Produced it when it was small. Probably ready to come off actually. Let's go ahead and pull that. Let's go ahead and look at this pod. I'm going to take it out outside so you can see it in some natural light. So this is a small Sugar Rush Red. It'll probably get more red here. It's kind of a dark orange right now. But yeah, smooth. Looks like it's going to be crunchy and sweet. Probably a little bit of heat. Exciting stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show off this fan real quick I just got. Had it in here. Well, I've had it for a while, but I didn't get to put it in until like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And comes with this little like speed control down here, so you can like speed it up and slow it down. So that's like max. And so I have it like right about there. Probably about medium to just constantly circulate air through here. I might turn it up higher here soon. It's supposed to get hot, but yeah. So it's nicely pulling air from, well, hopefully through this air pocket that I've always had cut up in this plastic up here. And so whenever that thing's running, the plastic tends to pull inwards, you know. And so idea being is that it just sucks air through the garden and pushes it out the back, which is actually the hops right there. So I'm sure they enjoy that air. Yeah, and yeah, this is the rest of the greenhouse. It's doing nicely. I like the way it's looking better than previous years so far. I'm just very impatient, and so I want these things to get big and crazy. All right, let's take a quick look at the hops. Very, very tall for this early in the year. Let me tell you what. Usually, like last year, by this time in the year, they were like up to the top of the fence maybe. But like, this is like double the size, dude. I mean, this plant is a literal beast growing on the side of my house. It's the Zeus hops. I also have Cascade right next to them, but they're not doing very well. Like, they're very small in comparison to the Zeus. They're both growing in boxes. I did the same thing to both for the most part. I put a lot of soil on this on top of the other one because it was like uneven. So I might have smothered this plant over here to some degree, but also last year it wasn't as big as the Zeus. But dude, this Zeus thing is a monster. It's gonna be onto my deck by August, easy. Like, it's gonna be over the top of the pergola by August is what I'm talking about. I mean, look at this, dude. This is crazy. I've been trimming it up, making sure that I keep the bottom nice and trimmed. It's been a week since I trimmed, so there's probably some new stuff down here. But for the most part, it's really clean. I also trimmed early, all of them. Like, I cut them all back when I saw a bunch growing up, and I let them start over again. And I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, I only have one rope going to the Cascades, but the Zeus, I have 3 ropes going to the Zeus. 3. That thing is growing 3 giant vines on the side of my house. Like, that's what I'm talking about right there. Awesome. Very excited to see that and see how big it gets. Take a second to show off the tomato box that I installed last year on the side of my house. I have it full of tomatoes again, of course. We're gonna see how long I can keep the same soil in there. That's the experiment. And I think I'll be able to do it for a while if I keep pumping it full of good stuff. And so these are tomatoes that I grew from seed. The seeds came from Miami, my cousin Megan. Thank you for that. These are the more elongated ones. I don't remember what they're called. Black icicle. Yeah, these are the black icicles. These are some small ones. I'm sure they get much bigger than that. And we've got the brandywines. I got a nice little bunch of them here. They're small, but they are tomatoes, so that's cool. I get some early. And that's the box. I'll show you a couple more things up here on the deck, and then we're done. Carolina Reaper is what I chose to have right at the front door when people walk in. Yeah, everybody always asks what's the hottest. That's one of the hottest. So I'll just put that on the deck so people could just always see it. It's kind of a party trick pepper anyway. Here's a quick look at the hibiscus that I've been growing for about 5 or 6 years now. It's been around. Anyway, threw some limestone in there when I put it out here. And it's starting to show a lot of new healthy growth, which is great. Even got like early flowers because it was kind of stressed there for a while. So that's a neat little trick. If you want early pods, even if you don't care what size they are, stress your plant a little bit before you transplant it or move it. And that's usually a good idea. And then here are these little baskets out here on the sides with all the marigolds. Basically just thought if I line my deck with marigolds, I can keep the insects away. Yep, anyway, that's it for the deck.